Hey y'all, how you doing today? Dana here, and I'm going live this morning, and I just wanted to cook some good food today and to catch up with you in the kitchen. How are you doing? What's going on? And I'll tell you about what's going on with us. All right. Let me flip you around here because I am going to make some homemade pizza dough, some homemade pizza, some homemade pizza sauce, just real fast while we're getting started. But I just wanted to say, guess where I've been for the last week? Just got home yesterday. Long flight. I've been to Alaska. Y'all ever been to Alaska? Yeah, we had a great time, although it was work. So after the work part, I would plan different excursions for us to go do. So David would do his work and his meetings, and then we would jump in the car. We rented a car and we'd go to a mountain, to a glacier, to a refuge or something like that, an animal refuge. And we would just had a great time in Alaska. So anyway, that's where I've been. And we're going to talk about it, but I got to get some food going. So I got me a shirt so you could see, and it's a sweatshirt. But I'm going to tell y'all something. I had to crank down my air conditioner this morning so I could wear it because, you know, it was 40 degrees in Alaska. And y'all know it. It's in the 90s down here, 80s and 90s. So have y'all ever been to Alaska? Is it on your bucket list? It is gorgeous. I'm going to tell you what I think every time I go to Alaska. And David and I have been to Alaska 4 times. God was showing out when he made Alaska. It is gorgeous. And if you've never seen the glaciers, oh my word, they're gorgeous. All the wildlife out there is amazing. And as a girl from Alabama, where it's so hot and humid here at this time of year, it was a welcome relief to go there and feel the air, as I like to say. So anyway, y'all, I got to get started on this pizza and we can talk more. And I can see all of y'all making comments and thanks for joining me. And I met some really good people out there. I had some people that recognized me out there, so that was pretty cool. And y'all, if you ever see me out and about, please say something to me. You're my friends, okay? All right, let's flip around here. First, I'm going to make some homemade pizza sauce. Now, normally what I do is I pull out my little pan and I get to working on the here so you can see it. But today I'm just going to mix it up right here and put it on the eye back there because y'all know what they say after you get off a long air trip, a little bit of jet lag. So let me just show you my throw together sauce from the pantry, pizza sauce. First, I just get some tomato sauce, okay? So we're gonna pour that in. How easy is that? Woo! Now, we were in Anchorage this time, but we've been all over Alaska on the few trips that we've been up there. I'm telling y'all, it's gorgeous. And y'all, I like chunky in mine, so I like heat and I like chunky. So I'm gonna add some diced tomatoes and green chilies. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't like it, but I am going to. And I was gonna try to have everything open when you got here, but I don't. But this is my favorite Pampered Chef can opener. Now, y'all, it's like you're shaking hands. You just put it on like this, like that, and then you go around. I wasn't gonna do this, but I might as well. But anyway, I just love it out in Alaska. I love going. As a matter of fact, one of my former students, hey, Terry, lives out there now. So that's good. I didn't get to see her, but she works, you know. All right, what I've got to do right now is pour this in there. And y'all, I also like putting the seasonings that I want in there. And I don't want to be overrun with garlic, but I'm going to put a little bit. Now, this is probably going to be half of a teaspoon or less. And I'm going to do the same thing with some oregano. And y'all, my Nanny Swan always said, girl, she didn't call me girl, Dana. She called me Dana. She said, when you get dried herbs, you do this. You rub them in your hand. I said, why? She said, it makes it taste better. It makes the oils come out. So that's what I do. Do y'all do that? Then I'm going to get some basil. Oh, and another thing I got to do, about the same amount. This is about a half teaspoon. Got to turn this thing up. Got to turn on the heat, 475. Okay, I've got all that done. And now I always add a little bit of sugar to mine. I like it. This really phenomenal cook told me a long time ago, whenever you're using tomatoes, you always add a little spoonful of sugar, because y'all know tomatoes have an acid edge to them, which we all like, but sometimes it gets a little too much. The next thing I'm going to do is put some mushrooms in there. Now, y'all don't have to do it this way. This is what I do. I'm just showing you. Let me drain these, okay? All right, I got that in there. Is that all I want to put in there today? Oh, and I always put a little olive oil. Now, y'all, once you learn how to make these, it's no problem. Now, I'm putting about a tablespoon in there, but I'm also going to put it on the crust when we get it started. All right, I'm going to stir this up and get it on the eye. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And I'm going to turn this to medium and get this stirred up good. Now, y'all notice I didn't put any salt or anything like that, but y'all know those tomatoes that are canned, they have salt in them. Unless you are buying something that doesn't, you taste of it to see if you need salt or not. I got that on medium. I'm going to taste of it. Ooh, that's so good. Put my lid on it and let it go. All right, the next thing we got to do is decide what we're cooking this in. Now, y'all know I have this huge cast iron skillet. It's a big one. And I'll put the link for this too, and my Pampered Chef stuff in case you want it. But this is a large, big skillet. And my son got it for me for Christmas one year, and this is my pizza skillet. Y'all, it makes great crust. But what I'm going to do first is pop this in the oven and get it hot. So here we go. I've got the oven at 475. Ooh, it's heavy. Oh, I need to move this down. There we go. I am so glad y'all are with me today. Let's move on with this pizza. The next thing we got to do is make our pizza crust. But while that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm putting on the outside of my pizza. You know, the fixings. Of course, I've got mozzarella. I've got pepperoni. I've got mozzarella. And I personally like peppers on mine and mushrooms. Well, you know the mushrooms are in here. And I've got a few peppers that my mom grew in her garden, and I'm about to cut those up. But I want to tell y'all, the very first time I went to Alaska, I got this ulu. Y'all see my ulu? And I'll put a link for this too. Look, it says Alaska on it. I use this thing every week. It has a bowl in it so your stuff doesn't run off, and, you know, an indention. And this thing is very cool and sharp. I know. I love mine. Just thought I'd pull it out today so you can see it. Here it is. And I've got my peppers that my mom grew, some banana peppers. And I don't know what these are, but they're not hot. But anyway, I'm going to chop those up right quick. And all of you that have asked about my mother, thank you. She's getting better. Y'all, for those of you that don't know, she had a lot of oral surgery done. And y'all know, oral surgery, yikes. But anyway, she's getting recovered. She can eat stuff that's a little more solid now. But, man, it's been rough. And I know y'all know it. If y'all got any hints for somebody who's had oral surgery and is on basically soft food, y'all give me your tips. I need them. All right, let's talk about the Alaska trip. It was a wonderful, wonderful trip. We went up and saw some glaciers up in the mountain. Now, I have seen the Mendenhall Glacier. I've seen a bunch of glaciers on our other trips up there, and it was just a treat to see them. The first time we ever went to Alaska, David came in from work. I was a biology teacher, and he was the chairman of our county commission and our probate judge. And he came in one day and he said, Dana, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you want to go? I said, well, I want to go see the glaciers. And he said, what? The glaciers? I said, yeah, I want to go see the glaciers before they melt. And y'all, it did not disappoint. We got to see them calving, which is when you're up close to them and a big chunk of it falls off in the water. We got to see that, and it was so nice. We got to see all the animals around. We went on a hike on one of them up a mountain, and not on the glacier. We were on the mountain beside the glacier, and we saw a bear. We walked up on a bear, was it a brown bear? It was a black bear. And it didn't bother us. We had a guide, and she told us just what to do if we saw a bear. So we did exactly what she said, and the bear did not bother us. Although we had a scary moment. Somebody who was not with our group, and it was an elderly lady and gentleman, did not have anybody advising them about the bear. And y'all, we were standing there watching, and they had a camera with a big flash bulb on it, and they got right in front of that bear's face and was flashing and I thought, oh no, they're about to get eaten by that bear. But then I thought, okay, maybe our guide was yelling at them what to do. Back away, back away, back away. And then the little lady just fell down right in front of that bear. And I was like, oh dear. So eventually that bear looked at them a few minutes and turned around and walked off into the woods. But I'm going to tell you something. It was scary for us watching, thinking we're about to see an attack here. So the bear, being used to us humans, I guess, turned around and walked into the woods, and we were glad about that. But we saw all kind of animals, not this time, but I'm telling you about the 4 different times we've been. But I say this time, we went to an animal refuge there. You know, they take care of animals that have been injured in the wild. So we saw the wood bison. We saw, we saw all kind of animals, foxes, musk oxen. We saw all kinds of animals there, and it was really good. I'm boiling, y'all hang on. Okay. Y'all should smell my kitchen right now. It smells so good. It smells yummy. I'm going to turn this down on low because it's done cooking. It smells delicious. I'm just going to let it sit in there and dream together for a little while. And then I got to mix up the dough. Okay. Now, y'all have watched me make this over and over and over again. And, of course, I'm going to make it one more time for you. And this is the pizza dough. Remember, I got this recipe from Mountain Cooking with Missy. And I know most of y'all follow her. She's wonderful. She's one of my buddies. I've met her in person, and we've exchanged. We talk on the phone sometimes, all that kind of stuff. She's a really wonderful person, Mountain Cooking with Missy. Now, what I got to do right now, this is self-rising flour, and I'm putting 2.5 cups in. Okay, 2.5 cups. There we go. I'm going to leave that out in case I need some more. And the next thing I got to do is get some Greek yogurt. Okay, people, this is the Greek yogurt I'm using, which is Shabana. And I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm from Alabama. It comes out the way it comes out. And I need 1.33 cups of that. So y'all let me get it. I make a little well in the center. Now, y'all, do y'all like my Alaska shirt? Because I'm going to tell you in a minute, it's probably going to have flour all over it. All right, we're going to put 1.33 cups. Y'all, I met some of the nicest people out there, and one of them was a lady from the lower part of Alabama, and her name was Peacock Hoof. Her name was Karen Peacock Hoof, and I'm going to put a link to her page if y'all want to go watch her. She does some stuff online too, so y'all can go watch her. Anyway, y'all can see what she does when you check her out. But Karen Peacock Hoof, Terry, and Margie, we had a great time with y'all. Y'all are a hoot. And we loved it. David and I loved being around you. Here we go. Let's get that in. See, some already flew up and got on my shirt. Y'all okay with that? Yeah, baby. I'm just so glad to be here. And I will tell y'all that, you know, we had stuff planned every day. And on the day we were supposed to go to the, hey, Karen. Y'all, she's on here. Y'all just look down through there. Karen. No, that's a different Karen. Okay, wait just a minute. She'll be on here shortly. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, on the day we were going to the airport, we had some stuff we were going to go do, and then the stuff happened with the death of Charlie Kirk. So that was the day of the funeral on Sunday when we were going back to the airport. And I felt like it was very important to watch the funeral and all of that. So David and I watched all of that, and we've just been devastated and upset. And I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cry, but it's been something. And we have been praying constantly for his family, for his wife, and for his ministry. So it will keep going, spreading the love of God, and that we can all have honest discourse without feeling so angry with each other. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Just know that that's what we did. And, you know, we just want what's best for our country. And we never, ever want somebody to be killed like that. But the whole thing about that is he lost his life and the shooter lost his life, because he's going to be in prison from now on, or worse. And, you know, as I used to teach kids, and I taught kids that age, and, you know, it breaks my heart as a teacher and as a mother and as a human that this happened on both sides. I'm praying for all the families involved. And I just pray that our country lets the love of God come through us again, and that we come back to the good Lord. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. That's the way now. But anyway, y'all know how I feel about the good Lord. And if you don't know the good Lord, I have a video called What a Friend. And What a Friend is on YouTube. Just Google my name, Dana Standridge, What a Friend, and it'll pop up and you can know it. But anyway, let's move on with this. God is good. Y'all tell me what you think about that. And also, if y'all got any advice on those long flights, we got up one morning, put the makeup on, put the clothes on, and we did not get home until the next morning. So we flew basically all night. So if y'all got tips on what to do for those flights, because it was long and we were in 3 different airports, 4 if you count our home airport. So it was just something else. All that flying and not being able to sleep on those seats. Because, you know, on the airline seats, they're real tight and they're real close to everybody. And then it says, oh, you can let your seat back. So you push that little button and you push back, and you only go back 2 inches. So it's not much different, maybe 3. So if y'all got any hints on what you do when you're flying for 7 hours or more, y'all let me know, because I might need it for next time. All right, I got that mixed up. I'm going to knead it in a minute, but I got to pull this out and get it oiled. So y'all hang on. Now, what I do when I get my pan hot, right before we put that in, I'm going to oil it with some olive oil. So here we go. Let me get this. I'm going to start kneading this right here. And I hope y'all are doing okay. Y'all tell me what's going on with you. But anyway, let me get this kneaded. I think y'all might have seen me make this with my little Jasper, my grandson. He's the sweetest thing. And y'all, this is really good and really easy. And if you want to make your own dough, or if you just don't want to go out one night and you're like, heck, I can make this in the time I can get everybody in the car, this is what you do. So we're just kneading this. And I got to tell y'all, I ate some really good food while we were out there. And I'm going to post some pictures. One of the places I ate was at well, you know, they had a chef and stuff. And they had gourmet pizza. And the pizza, they put a really thin crust on it. And I liked that. And I may try that eventually, doing individual pizzas, thin crust style, you know. And it was really good. It was very, very thin, thinner than a cracker. But I liked it pretty good. And it was just basil and mozzarella with the red sauce. And it was so good. But anyway, I know some of you have asked. I'm still working on my cookbook. And so sometimes if I'm not here with you and you see a video I've released before, it's because I'm working on my cookbook. Believe y'all me, cookbooks do not come into being like that. They take a while and a whole lot of edits and stuff like that. But anyway, all right. All right, so we got this mixed up. And this is a good dough. And now you can do one of two things. You can just get it in a circle here. I'm so glad y'all are with me today. I love cooking. And I've got a lot of stuff I've been doing that I have not posted the pictures yet. So y'all get ready for some blast from what I've been doing in the last 2 weeks. I've been at the Hoover Service Club, and y'all, they give back to their community over and over. And I'm honored to be invited to speak. And thank you, Shelley, for inviting me. And there was a group of wonderful ladies. So not only are we women the mamas, we take care of a lot of people that are not even ours, don't we? All right, y'all, let's roll this puppy out. This is my very heavy pastry. I'm going to roll this out and get it going. Now, y'all tell me about your toppings. What toppings do you like on your pizza? I really just like veggie pizzas, but my husband likes meat. And so I have to put some kind of meat on it, or he's, you know, and I put a lot of veggies. But now when I first married David, and y'all turn it over ever so often. When I first married David, he wouldn't eat any vegetables on his pizza. And I was like, can't we at least have a mushroom or something? So now I've got him where he will take mushrooms and peppers. Now, y'all know he can't do onions, and y'all know why. He's allergic. He's not allergic if you cook the smithereen out of the onion, but he is allergic to the raw, something about raw onions. And he feels like when he eats raw onions, if he gets a dose of it, it makes him feel like he's got the flu. And he's sick for 3 days. 3. Now, that's a long time for eating an onion. So I'm the taste tester in the family. And I always taste of the food to make sure there's no raw onions in it. Because if there is, he cannot eat it. I mean, he can. He'll just be sick for 3 days. But anyway, that's the way that is. The next thing I'm going to do is take my little brush, and I'm going to brush in some olive oil in that big skillet over there. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to remind you that my book, Happiness is Homemade, y'all, is available on Amazon. It'll come as ebook or print book. Y'all go get you one. Help a girl out. All those people that's getting married, they need this book. All those recipes my families have made through the years, tried and true, that are delicious and easy, are in there. So y'all go get you one. All right. Okay, I've got the oil in here, and I'm just whisking this around. And my pan is so hot. And y'all, I probably did about 3 spoons of oil in there. Now, let me see. I've about got this a little bit thinner. Here we go. I'll move it over here in a minute, and you can watch me decorate it. But I just got to roll this up and get it in. Now, I roll it up, and hold it with my fingers just like this. Then I put it in there. So y'all watching, say a prayer. All right. Let's move it over here where y'all can see what I'm doing. And this is how it went in there, a little crooked, and I'm going to fix it. Y'all, this is very forgiving. Okay, very forgiving dough in that hot pan, and I've got oil on it so it slides easily. Now, what I'm going to do right now is run it up the side a little bit. And y'all, I don't get out of whack about this. If it doesn't look perfect, I'm going to eat it anyway, okay? But if you are persnickety and want it to look good, well, honey, you go right ahead because that's okay. Different strokes, right? Sometimes I am persnickety, so I can say that as a persnickety person on some scales. The next thing I'm going to do to get this in the oven, I'm going to put in some olive oil. Now, I'm going to pour probably another tablespoon in there. And I'm just going to run this over it, especially on the sides. This is going to make it taste so good. It's going to be delicious. You're going to be so happy when you make this. My whole family adores this. And what I do sometimes, if I've got all the grandkids here, is this is what we're having. We all get in the kitchen to make our little dough, and we use small skillets, and then we make our food, their own pizza with all of the toppings that they like on it. Okay. And now what we got to do is just put this on, put our sauce, and you put on how much sauce you like. Now remember, mine has mushrooms in it, but we love mushrooms in my family. If yours doesn't, if you don't like mushrooms, by all means, do not put it on there. And I will not be using all this, but I'll be using most of it. What's left, I will make some noodles tomorrow and eat it, or whatever. And y'all saw how fast I made that. All right. I also like a little red pepper flakes. Not many. I don't want to burn anybody up. I'm just going to do it real high. That's what my chef friend told me. High up is going to be your best bet. Then we're moving on. I do like Parmesan on mine, so I'm going to do that from high up as well. Come on, you. Sometimes that stuff sticks. And that's one reason why I didn't salt it, is because Parmesan is very salty. All right, I got to get my peppers on there. And y'all know I've got a range of peppers that my mother grew in her garden. Excuse me for coughing. They are good, fresh peppers. I love a lot of peppers. I just do. And I'm going to put some pepperoni. Should I put it on top? What do y'all think? Mozzarella first or pepperoni? I need a drink of water and I don't have one over here. I'll get it in just a minute. Woo! All right, y'all. I just tell you what, I'm so thankful to have y'all in the kitchen. I feel like it's my pleasure and a treat for me to get to cook with you because I love to cook. I'm always finding new recipes, and I'll put some, excuse me, I'll put some pictures of some different foods we ate. I've got new recipes coming at you in my cookbook I'm so excited about. My family's happy because I'll call them and say, come over and test out this recipe. And sometimes I get my daughter to make them to make sure they turn out like mine. She's busy right now, but I'm like, hey, make this and see if it turns out right. Because I have to make sure the increments are right for you. All right, pepperoni, here we are. I'll do one side heavy pepperoni and one light because, you know, I'm just fine with just the vegetables. But anyway, but I'm going to pop this in the oven, 475, and it's going to go for, now y'all look, your oven makes a big difference. And if you had your pan heated, well, I'm just putting it heavy on all of it, I guess. I like it too. I just like there we go. All right, this looks good. This is gonna go in the oven real quick. All right, it's going in the oven for 10 to 20 minutes. Now y'all look, how do you know when this is done? You lift it up with a spatula at the bottom and you look and see if it's browned enough on the bottom, because if it's not, you got to leave it in there a little bit longer. But mine's going to be cooking at 475 for, 8 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven and how thin you've made the crust. The thinner the crust, the quicker it cooks. There we go. So here we go. All right, now we got to do our timer. Y'all ready? Set timer, 12 minutes. I'm going to start checking it at 12 minutes. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is feed my starter. Y'all know I make sourdough bread. This is the kind of sourdough bread that you make with potatoes, okay? So this is potatoes, like the Amish. Some people call this the Amish bread. But this is one that's been in my family forever. I've been making it over 30 years. My grandmother was making it, my mother. So I'm going to show you, I buy these old pitchers at the thrift store, and they work really good for keeping my sourdough starter. Now this is my full one right here I made a bunch of them for these events I was going to. Now all that's left over is here. So I'm going to pour a little bit out to feed today in here. So let me do that. You need about, 3/4 of a cup to feed. And when you smell this, you can smell it's fermented. Okay, so this is what we're going to do to feed it, this right here, okay? I'm feeding that much. And on this right here, I can use this starter to make other items. A lot of times when I feed this, you will have 2 cups of extra starter. So I'll make 2 batches of bread. That's what I do. A lot of people call that discard, but it's actually starter. I mean, it's just starter that's activated and been fed that you can use. You can put it in your pancakes, your muffins, your brownies, your cakes. You can put it in all that if you want to. It's just activated starter. And so what I got to do right now is I've got to do several things. One thing is I've got to get my sugar going. So I need 3/4 cup of sugar to feed this starter, because bread has got to have a source of energy, and that would be the sugar, because your yeast is an organism. Now I have got to step into the pantry and get my potato flakes, so y'all just say something nice to me while I'm going. Here it is, hiding behind the flour. Here's my potato flakes. People ask me, where do I get these potato flakes? Y'all, these right here are just over there where the mashed potatoes are on the aisle. Where the instant mashed potatoes, that's what these are. It's just dried potatoes is what it is. So you put 1/4 of a cup in there. Then you got to have some warm water to activate the yeast, which is what's happening now, and you just need 1 cup. 1 cup. Okay, so I've got 1 cup of water, and you take your trusty little fork and you just stir this together. Stir it together, and this is what we're going to feed our starter to. This is it. So we just pour it right in there. And this right here, before long, will start bubbling, and it will ease up the jar or the container, and it's just going to be beautiful. And it's going to smell fermented. This is going to sit out for 8 to 12 hours. And then later on in the day, I will mix up the bread. But it'll be a lot later because, it's 10:30 here. It's going to be in the afternoon. So I just cover it up, and I've found these cute little things online that I can just do that. Sit it over here in a warm spot. wait. Let the yeast do the work. Let's see how bad my shirt is. I do have flour all over it, but that's okay. I've had fun in the kitchen today with you. Hey y'all, I am back and I have just pulled that wonderful pizza out of the oven. It cooked for about 12 to 13 minutes. So I want to show you what it looks like, but I did let it cool a few minutes because you can't eat a hot pizza right out of the oven. It burns your mouth. Has that ever happened to y'all? It has to me. So anyway, I'm going to pull that over here, and also I'm going to answer some questions. Y'all know I did show about the starter, how I was feeding my starter, but I've had some people jump on here and say, hey, how do you make the starter? Well, y'all, my recipe for that is in the cookbook. Making your first starter and then starting to feed it and to make the bread is all in Happiness is Homemade, y'all. So get on Amazon, get you one. I'll put the link below so you could just go straight there and get you one. But anyway, this is where you find that. And y'all, these recipes for the bread starter, and it's easy. It's not hard. Don't let it scare you, okay? But anyway, I've got to get that pizza over here because I'm starving. First, let me show it to you. Is this not gorgeous? Pizza in a cast iron skillet. Oh my, this is gonna be good. This is my huge cast iron skillet that my son bought me that I use all the time. And I'm going to pull this out of here and then we're gonna eat some good old pizza. So how do we get this out of here? First of all, I've got my trusty cutting board right here and I'm gonna put it right on top of the cutting board. Let me get my other utensil. This right here I've had since I got married. I've been married 43 years. I've had this 43 years. I love it. I hope it lasts 43 more. And when I'm done with it, I hope somebody comes along and gets it and cooks with it in their kitchen. All right, grandkids, here you go. All right, let me get this out. First, y'all know to test it, I looked at the bottom. Run this around it, make sure nothing's sticking, and it's not. Then you just pull up one end and tilt the pan over, and voila, you are in pizza heaven. Yeah, baby. You are in pizza heaven. Let me show it to you one more time. Look at this pizza. Y'all know how long that took me to make? About 10 minutes. And look at the bottom of it. Look at that crust. Oh my goodness. If you like thin crust, make your pizza thinner. If you like thicker, make it thicker. Anyway, y'all saw me throw together everything just a few minutes ago. Remember, I've been to Alaska and I got a little jet lag and this old girl needed some pizza today. So let me show you what it looks like. I got my trusty pizza cutter. Look at this. Look at this. We got cheese coming down. Look at this, y'all. I wish you were here. I'd give you a big old bite. I'll take one for you. Trust me on this. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Beautiful pizza. And I made that in no time. Once you make it one time, you'll make it a bunch. And here I go. I've got a piece of pepperoni hanging off, and I must handle it. That is good. Let's see how it is. Y'all. Oh my goodness. I gotta go be with my pizza. I wish y'all were here. I'd give you a bite. I'd give you a slice. And we would laugh and talk. Okay, y'all. You can make the crust as thin or as thick as you want it. Just remember, the thicker you make it, the longer you gotta add cooking time to it. Remember, the recipe is 2.5 cups of self-rising flour and 1 1/3 cup of Greek yogurt. I'll put the recipe so you'll have it. I love y'all. And the good Lord loves you too. Let's go make some pizza. David's gonna love me for this. It'll help with that jet lag. Love and blessings to y'all. Bye now.